I was reviewing tenant applications for my downtown building when my phone buzzed with a video call from my younger cousin Amy. She looked uncomfortable. Maya, are you seeing the family chat? I muted it 6 months ago. Why? You need to look. Your mom is hosting Sunday dinner at your building and they're planning things. I unmuted the chat. My screen filled with messages and photos from inside 842 Sterling Lofts, my 4-story mixed-use building. The ground floor retail space, the 3 residential floors above it, all mine. Purchased 2 years ago for $1.8 million through my property development company. Mom, family meeting. We've worked out how to divide the building fairly. Everyone come see your new spaces. Brother Marcus, I'm taking the 3rd floor. Corner unit has the best light for my art studio. Sister Vanessa, 2nd floor is perfect for me and the kids. Close to the street entrance. Mom, your father and I will take the 4th floor penthouse, obviously. Maya can have the ground floor retail space. She works from home anyway, she doesn't need much room. My hands tightened around my phone. I scrolled through more messages. Dad, we've already assigned parking spaces. Marcus gets 2 spots for his car and motorcycle. Vanessa needs 3 for the minivan and visitors. Maya doesn't drive much, so she gets the compact space in back. Aunt Linda, this is so generous of you all to share the family building. Maya must be thrilled to have everyone close by. Marcus, it's about time this family had a real estate presence. Maya bought it, but it belongs to all of us really. Family assets are family assets. I called my property manager, Devin Wright, and my real estate attorney, James Park. Devin, are my family members currently inside 842 Sterling? Yes. Your mother called yesterday saying she was the building owner and needed access for a family meeting. I told her only you had authorization, but she insisted. She had keys. Keys? From where? She said you gave them to her months ago. I felt my jaw clench. I'd given my mother an emergency key last year when I had surgery. He was supposed to return it. He never did. James, I need you at 842 Sterling immediately. Bring security. My family is inside my building claiming ownership and dividing it up amongst themselves. I'm 15 minutes away. Don't engage until I arrive. I grabbed my laptop and building ownership documents, heading out the door. Amy's text came through. They're measuring rooms and talking about renovation budgets. Your mom is giving tours. 20 minutes later, I arrived at 842 Sterling. James was already there with 2 security officers from Sentinel Property Services. I could hear voices and laughter from inside. Ready? James asked, his briefcase in hand. Let's go. I unlocked the main entrance with my owner's key. The sound of conversation echoed from the 2nd floor. We climbed the stairs and found my entire family gathered in the largest unit. 15 people, including my parents, siblings, aunt, uncle, and several cousins. Mom had set up a buffet on folding tables. Marcus was showing people his future art studio space. Vanessa's kids were running through the rooms claiming bedrooms. Paya. Mom spotted me first, her smile bright. Perfect timing. We're just finishing the space assignments. Come see what we've planned. Planned for what? I asked calmly. For the building division, of course. We've worked out a fair system. Each adult sibling gets a floor, your father and I get the penthouse, and... Stop, I said. Everyone stop what you're doing. The room quieted. Marcus turned from the window where he'd been measuring wall space. Maya, don't be dramatic, he said. Mom's just organizing how we'll all share the building. It's a family asset. Obviously, we're not going to make you homeless. You get the ground floor. This building isn't a family asset, I said. It's my asset. I own it. Fully. Through my company, Apex Property Development LLC. James stepped forward, opening his briefcase. I'm James Park, Ms. Chen's real estate attorney. These are the property records for 842 Sterling Lofts. He laid documents on the folding table, scattering paper plates. Purchased 23 months ago by Apex Property Development for $1.8 million. Sole owner, Maya Chen. There are no co-owners, no family trust, no shared ownership structure of any kind. Dad picked up the documents, scanning them. But Maya bought this with family money. When we gave her $20,000 for her business startup. You gave me $20,000 8 years ago when I started my software consulting firm, I interrupted. I paid you back in full within 18 months. With interest. I have the canceled checks. That money has nothing to do with this building, which I purchased with profits from my property development company. Vanessa crossed her arms. You never said you owned an entire building. We thought you rented an apartment somewhere. I invited you all to the building's grand opening 18 months ago. The invitation said, Apex Property Development Presents, 842 Sterling Lofts, A Maya Chin Project. No one came. You said you had better things to do than attend my little real estate hobby event. James pulled out more documents. Ms. Chin owns 3 commercial properties and 5 residential buildings in this city. Her real estate portfolio is currently valued at $8.3 million. This building generates $15,000 monthly in rental income from the ground floor retail tenant and 2 of the residential units. Wait, Marcus said slowly. People are renting here? Living here? Yes. The ground floor houses a boutique coffee shop. The second floor northeast unit is rented to a graphic designer. The third floor west unit is leased to a young couple. All legal tenants with signed leases. Mom shook her head. That can't be right. The building was empty when we got here. Because the second floor northwest unit and third floor east unit are between tenants, I said. And the fourth floor penthouse is my personal residence. Where I live. The place you're currently trespassing. Trespassing? Dad's voice rose. We're family. You gave your mother keys. I gave Mom an emergency key last year when I had surgery. For emergencies only. Not for unauthorized entry and certainly not for hosting family dinners where you divide up my property. One of the security officers stepped forward. Ma'am, we're prepared to escort everyone out if needed. Aunt Linda looked uncomfortable. Maybe we should just go. This seems like a misunderstanding. It's not a misunderstanding, Mom said firmly. Maya needs to learn about family. This building is too much for one person. She's being selfish keeping it all to herself when we could all live here together. James's expression hardened. Mrs. Chin, your daughter owns this building outright. She has 3 legal tenants and lives here herself. She has every right to determine who occupies her property. You have no legal claim to any part of this building. But family shares. Vanessa protested. Maya's always had money. The least she could do is help her family out. We have needs too. What needs? I asked. Marcus, you live in a 2-bedroom apartment that you've never invited me to see. You told Mom you were between opportunities last month and needed rent money. Did she give it to you? Marcus looked away. Vanessa, you drive a brand new SUV and just got back from a week in Cancun. Your kids go to private school. Dad, you play golf 3 times a week at the country club. Mom, you redecorated your entire house last year. None of you are struggling. You just want more and you've decided my assets should become your assets. You have so much. Mom cried. Multiple buildings. Why can't you share? Because I earned it. I built my software consulting firm from nothing. I saved every dollar, learned real estate investment, took calculated risks and built a portfolio. I did that alone. None of you helped. Most of you didn't even believe I was capable. I pulled out my phone, opening old messages. Here's the text from 2 years ago when I told you I was buying this building. Marcus wrote, yeah right Maya. You can barely afford rent. Vanessa wrote, stop making up stories for attention. Mom, you wrote, that's nice dear, let us know when you need help with real financial planning. The room was silent now except for Vanessa's kids, who'd stopped running and were watching nervously. James pulled out another document. This is a formal trespass notice. You're all hereby notified that you're on private property without authorization. Security will escort you out immediately. If any of you return without Ms. Chen's explicit written permission, you'll be arrested. You can't be serious, Dad said. We're family. Family doesn't break into each other's buildings and assign themselves apartments, I replied. Family doesn't dismiss each other's accomplishments and then try to claim the results of those accomplishments as their own. Marcus stepped forward angrily. So what, you're just going to kick us all out? Embarrass us in front of everyone? You embarrassed yourselves. You broke into my building through a party, divided up spaces you have no right to, and told the entire family that you own parts of my property. I'm just correcting the record. The security officers began moving people toward the stairs. Aunt Linda gathered her things quickly, avoiding eye contact. Cousins shuffled out, murmuring. Vanessa's kids looked confused as she hurried them along. Mom stopped at the door, tears in her eyes. I can't believe you're doing this. Your own mother. I can't believe you stole my keys, broke into my building and tried to give away my property. Your own daughter. She left without another word. Only Marcus remained, staring at the space he'd claimed as his future art studio. I already posted on Instagram that I was moving into my new loft. Then you should probably post a correction, I said. He left, slamming the door. James supervised while Devin and the security team did a full sweep of the building. We found Marcus's measuring tape left behind, Vanessa's kids' toys scattered in one room, and Mom's serving dishes still on the folding tables. We're changing all locks tonight, Devin said. Every entrance, every unit. New security system with cameras. No one gets access without your explicit approval. Perfect. And Devin, about those emergency keys. Already noted. No emergency keys to family members. I should have verified her authorization. I'm sorry. It's not your fault. She was convincing. James packed up his documents. Maya, they may try this again. Your mother seemed genuinely convinced she had some claim to the building. Then we'll deal with it. With lawyers and police if necessary. At midnight, the locksmith finished installing new locks and keypads. The security company activated cameras at every entrance. My building was finally secure again. The family group chat exploded the next day. Marcus, Maya had us arrested at her building. Over a simple family dinner. Mom, she's chosen property over family. I don't even know my own daughter anymore. Vanessa, my kids were traumatized by the security guards. Maya should be ashamed. Amy texted me privately. For the record, nobody was arrested and the security guards were completely professional. Your family is rewriting history. I muted the chat again. 3 weeks later, Mom tried to use her old key at 842 Sterling. The new security system alerted me and Devin immediately. Police arrived and gave her an official trespass warning. She told relatives I'd called the cops on my own mother over nothing. The coffee shop tenant downstairs sent me a thank you card. We noticed increased security. Really appreciate you taking building safety seriously. My other tenants expressed similar relief. Apparently, Mom had tried to show the building to friends twice before the Sunday dinner incident, telling people she was the property manager. 6 months later, 842 Sterling Lofts is fully occupied and profitable. The property appreciated to $2.1 million. I refinanced and used the equity to purchase my 4th commercial property. Marcus posts photos of his cramped apartment studio with captions about staying humble and not selling out for material things. Vanessa tells people I'm new money with no family values. Mom sends occasional guilt trip messages about how I've abandoned my family for buildings. None of them have apologized for breaking in, trying to claim my property, or posting lies about being arrested. Last week, Vanessa asked if she could rent one of my residential units at a family discount. I said no. My buildings aren't family assets. They're my assets. Built with my work, my money, my risk. Sometimes the family that dismisses your success is the same family that wants to claim ownership when that success becomes undeniable. They can't have my floors. They never earned them. A year after the Sunday dinner incident, I received a certified letter from a law firm I didn't recognize. Inside was a lawsuit filed by my mother and siblings claiming they were entitled to ownership shares in 842 Sterling Lofts based on verbal family agreements and implied partnership. I forwarded it to James immediately. This is frivolous, he said after reviewing it. They have no documentation, no contracts, no evidence of any agreement. I'll file for dismissal. Will it go to court? Probably not. But they're hoping you'll settle just to avoid the hassle. Don't. I didn't. 2 months later, a judge dismissed the case entirely, ordering my family to pay my legal fees, $12,000. They were furious. Marcus called me a heartless corporate sellout. Mom sent a long email about how I'd destroyed the family over money. But I noticed something interesting. After the lawsuit failed, Marcus quietly asked if I had any entry-level property management positions available. Vanessa inquired about real estate investment advice. Dad mentioned he'd always been interested in commercial properties and wondered if I needed a partner. They didn't want to reconcile. They wanted access to my success now that they couldn't steal it outright. I declined all their requests. My property portfolio now includes 6 commercial buildings and 8 residential properties across 3 cities. Annual revenue exceeds $2.3 million. I employ a staff of 12, including property managers, maintenance teams, and leasing agents. Last month, I was featured in a local business magazine, Maya Chin, How One Woman Built an Empire from Code to Real Estate. The article detailed my journey from software consultant to property developer. My mother called the magazine to complain that the article didn't mention family support. The editor told her they only print verified facts. I keep the property records for 842 Sterling Lofts framed in my office. A reminder that ownership means something. It's not just a name on paper. It's responsibility, risk, investment, and work. My family wanted the rewards without any of those things. They hosted one Sunday dinner in my building and thought that entitled them to floors, parking spaces, and equity they never earned. But buildings don't work that way. Success doesn't work that way. I changed the locks at midnight and never looked back. Now when I walk through 842 Sterling Lofts, past the thriving coffee shop, past the happy tenants, up to my penthouse with its city views, I remember that Sunday dinner. I remember my family dividing up something that was never theirs. And I remember that I said no. Sometimes the most important word in business is the same word you need with family. Boundaries. I own my buildings. All of them. And no Sunday dinner will ever change that.